Hi everyone. I would like to welcome all of you for this presentation concerning the topic on cohabitation. Let us explore and learn something from this presentation. So, relax and enjoy. What comes to our mind whenever we hear the word cohabitation? What is cohabitation? Cohabitation is an arrangement where two or more people are not married but live together. The couple are often involved in a romantic or sexually intimate relationship on a long-term or permanent basis. And we cannot deny the fact that in our present modern day, cohabitation is a growing practice all around the world. Let us now move to the different concepts of cohabitation. This presentation about cohabitation can be also related to marriage because its nature has been the most common reference category for cohabitation, since it has been the central way of organizing families. In fact, in 2016, there were a total of 18.9 million families in UK with 3.3 million cohabiting couples. Their cohabitation issue has more than doubled since 1996 from 1.5 million to 3.3 million in 2016. Hence, globally, there is diversity in the meaning of cohabitation and the life circumstances or social and policy environments that compel men and women to enter into such unions. And let us explore the following various meaning why couple are getting into a cohabiting relationship. First, some couples practice cohabitation as a trial period before marriage, while others may see it as a substitute to marriage. Second, terms such as alternative to marriage or indistinguishable from marriage have become common, with unions that last longer more likely to be considered alternative to marriage. Third, cohabitors are similar to married couples in fundamental ways. They also share household responsibilities and usually resulting in economies of scale and may present themselves socially as a couple. Fourth, governments across Europe and in Australia are beginning to grant cohabitors the same legal rights and obligation as married couples, with the duration of the relationship a conditions for treatment similar to married couples. Fifth, hence, as cohabiting couples stay together longer, they may be considered socially and legally indistinguishable from married couples. Sixth, cohabitation is frequently a period of living together before marriage, using terms such as prelude to marriage, trial marriage, or stage in the marriage process. And lastly, plans to marry, however, usually matter. Couples across Europe with plans to marry have greater relationship quality and higher levels of commitment and are more likely to pool economic resources. These are the different reasons why couples usually engage to cohabitation. At this point, I would like to present to you the reasons of the increase of cohabitation. The first reason is that the proponents of the second demographic transition theory argue that the rise in cohabitation is due to shifts in values towards secular, egalitarian, and anti-authoritarian orientations. The second reason is because cohabitors ascribe to values that stress individual autonomy but also greater gender symmetry, with less intolerance to all types of minorities and thus breaches of civil morality. The third reason is due to these arguments, which imply that cohabitors are more oriented towards expressive values such as freedom and individualism, and are likely to reject traditional institutions such as the church, but also towards marriage. As these expressive values diffuse throughout societies and across countries, family behavior progresses through a series of stages, resulting in cohabitation becoming indistinguishable from marriage. As I have presented the situations of cohabitation in Europe and the United States, alongside with the different concepts on cohabitation, various meaning and reasons of cohabitation, I would like also to present the situations of cohabitation in the Philippines. The Philippines is unique because cohabitation is not an entirely new phenomenon and both its measurement and comparison with marriage patterns are possible. For example, while the absolute number of registered marriages in the Philippines has declined considerably in the last decade by nearly 25% between 2004 and 2013. It is possible that this decline has been offset by increases in cohabitation. Historically, non-marital cohabitation was already practiced in the Philippines even before Spanish colonization, and it was a common practice among lower-income people in order to avoid legal fees, ceremony, or celebration costs. But as Western influences and religion took hold, traditional cohabitation persisted in geographic areas far removed from urban centers and capital cities. Today, cohabitations as an old, indigenous practice coexist alongside with more contemporary forms of cohabitation, representing both longer-term commitment and trial marriage. Take for an instance, cohabiting women may even opt to self-report as being married or practicing kasalukuyang may kinakasama, a traditional form of life commitment, often identifying as a cohabitor. And this is being supported by early studies conducted in the Philippines that have found evidence of cohabitation both as trial marriage and as a substitute for marriage. Costs associated with the marriage ceremony itself are considered to be one reason for both short-term and longer-term cohabitation. These costs include the direct expenses associated with the marriage license and the ceremony in conjunction with the practice of donating to the church for the conduct of the wedding ceremony. There are also certain reasons why Filipinos resort to cohabitation. First, although the cost associated with a marriage ceremony may be one reason for short or long-term cohabitation, recent research also indicate that more liberal-minded couples feel the need for some sort of trial marriage or test period of living together, or feel that formal marriage is unnecessary. Second is that cohabitation in the Philippines has often been linked to traits associated with disadvantage or instability, absent parents, lack of engagement in work or education, migration, urban residence. Although previous studies have generally focused solely on youth or the young adult population. And while marriage is widely viewed as ideal, especially for women, financial reasons such as the economic burden of hosting a wedding reception and the cost of filling the necessary paperwork and pregnancy are often cited as motivations behind cohabitation. Third is that witnessing parents' marital difficulties is another reason for wariness toward marriage and preference for cohabitation, especially because divorce is illegal in the Philippines. With all these data and facts that I have presented with regards to cohabitation across the globe, therefore, I would like to conclude this presentation with the following discovery: that it is interesting to note that while there are distinct correlates of cohabitation overall, cohabitors who eventually marry are similar in socio-demographic profile from people who marry directly.